have a conversation. And then we'll see what happens. How's that? I'm going to tag you on it. Here, there you are. Let's go ahead and edit and tag Ruthie Benninger.
Yeah.
Okay, is anybody here yet? No, we got one person in the house. We'll give it another minute and a half. Oh my God. I feel like I've just been beaten to death. Judy McCormick says, hi, Ruthie. Is she your friend? Judy McCormick?
I don't know.
Laura Ormsby? Dorian, my friend from Utah, Salt Lake City.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll give it another 30 seconds. They're coming in. Waiting on Wingstop. Good evening, Julia Allen. All right, so we have a special show, unannounced, because I didn't have it in me to even type in the words to post it today. Yeah, been a lot of energy lately.
Oh, yeah.
So we've come across, Team Light, Judy McCormick. She's Team Light.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, so she must be
Team
here.
Lights in the house.
Team Lights in the house. Shout out to Rion in the gang, and the whole gang over there. Okay, so, yeah, crazy energies, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm barely even here. I can't even explain it. But, yeah, so, everyone I think knows that, we've said this over the years, that this is a platform for the voices of the Mother Goddess. And we also, have the disclaimer that includes all of our voices. It's the part of our makeup and our voices that really hadn't been heard. So it's coming out now, and we've been watching it for certainly the last couple of years, but even before that, even really from the beginning of Soulogy, SoulSpeaks 5D, these women that have been awake all their life. Some of them went back to sleep. And all of our stories are pretty much like this, but there are these women in the physical body who have been reserved in the background, doing the work, connected, doing grid work, anchoring in sacred wisdom, etc., channeling, mediumship, everything, that are now starting to step up. And they're a bit reluctant because innately there's still the rhythms of the suppression, murder, rape, hangings, burnings, and bullshit, and so they're starting to step up, and we're honored to have them come on. So whenever I come across one, I try to get them to come on, and Ruthie resisted me for a while, and then she said okay. So yeah, part of the reason is because if you guys know Ashley Lee, she comes on the show. She was on a couple of days ago, and Ruthie and her met, and it's like looking at the Bobbsey twins. They both carry amazing connections to infinite intelligence, and so that was really interesting to see both of them. Zoe Kosla says, you're doing it.
She's the one in the next room.
Oh, that's Zoe? Oh, hey, Zoe. Sorry.
Yeah.
So, the famous question is, did you have a wake-up experience? Have you always been this weird?
It started, childhood, right? Always heard voices, saw spirits in the room, I was raised Roman Catholic, so, my mom was always adamant about us praying to Jesus, right? Praying to the angels, and I would have experiences where, he would come in through the window, sit at my, end of my bed and talk to me, right? And I just assumed that was what she meant by talking to Jesus. And I brought it to her attention one day when I was really little, and she's like, are you praying to God? Are you praying to Jesus? I'm like, yeah, Mom. He comes in through the window. He sits beside me. He talks to me. She's like, no. She's like, she put the fear of God in me for the first time. I had no idea that, her belief systems, altered the rest of my, faith in speaking to spirit, right? Because I didn't have any fear until she brought it to my attention that not all spirits, are of the light, and they do masquerade, and they do, take on other false light appearances, right? And she said, "You don't know who you're talking to." And I was like, who is impersonating Jesus? Because they're going to get in trouble, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was like through the eyes of a 5-year-old, right? Like, ooh, like.
Wow.
So the last time that I spoke to him as a child, he respected my wishes. He's like, okay. He's like, when you're ready, I will be here, to talk to you again, right? And that didn't happen until I was in my late 30s, and I had my first son, and he was diagnosed at the age of 2 with autism.
Mm.
And I had another coming to Jesus moment. And I was like, Yeshua, I need you. Like, I need to talk to you. I need you to be back in my existence and I wasn't afraid. And he showed up. And that was the beginning of my awakening. He said that there wasn't anything wrong with my child. He called me a healer, and he told me that I was going to do this work. And he told me that his words were, "Healer, heal thyself," right?
Right.
To thy own self be true.
Right.
And what I had a hard time processing was that he called me a healer, and I was like, Jesus, say what? Like, I'm a healer? Like, what does that mean? And he said to me, basically, what you call a curse, right, is actually a blessing. And what you do in the future with it is going to be beautiful, right? And I decided to take that role seriously. And I wanted to unlock my son or help communicate with him, because as a child, very young, at the age of 7, I was diagnosed with dyslexia. And growing up in the 80s, 90s, there was a lot of bullying and a lot of, I went through a lot of hardships in school, And I didn't realize that it was just because I could not conform to being left-brained, I was very much in the right side of my brain, even to the point where I was left-handed. I am still left-handed. And I didn't know that the right side of your brain was basically the part that connects you to spirit, to, music, the arts. It's just, it's the connector to the creator part of you, right? So, going down the rabbit hole, learning how to be a healer, I decided to learn about Reiki, like moving energy with my hands, because I remember Yeshua telling me as a child that all these great things and more you could do. Like, he came to be a teacher. He told me, he's like, I am not a savior. He's like, mankind, created that, right? Mm-hmm. He said he came here to teach his people how to to put the power back in their hands,
right?
And he was basically reinforcing that belief in me. He literally said, what is your truth, right? And I was like, what do you mean, what's my truth? He says, I don't care about what your mom believes. I don't care what your sister believes. What do you believe? He says, that's it. You live your life based on your belief,
right?
Your truth. And, and it was so simple the way he said it to me, with a very, loving face, like loving eyes, like, I hear you, I see you, I know what you're going to go through, I know what you're about to step into, being ridiculed as a witch, for the belief systems that I believe that we all have within us. We just have to unlock the cellular memory of it, right? The dormant DNA codes that come with it. But a lot of anxiety came with that. My husband started looking at me differently when I started getting excited about energy work and remembering how consciousness, you can speak to the body, you can communicate with the body through tones and frequencies. And then I had a spirit guide step in, and I was getting too much in my head, right? And I was doubting and questioning was I getting it right? And with that, I was assigned a spirit guide, and he took me through a journey, right? And started watching YouTube videos. I was being guided to watch YouTube videos, right? Because being dyslexic, I'm not a good reader.
Right.
So it was funny because all the content that I was watching, including you, right? My spirit guide was like, follow, right? Uh-huh. And he said to me that in the future, all of these people, right, that I so dearly love, they were going to be in my future.
Really?
Yeah. And I was used to living on the other side of the screen. Like, I was used to being on the other side of the cell phone, right? And I never thought that I would be on your show, much less be here in Sedona broadcasting my story, right? Mm. But, Yeshua knew, and so did my spirit guide. And, they prepared me to not be afraid, that in the age of Aquarius, nothing was going to happen to women like me, stepping back into their power, Like, I wasn't going to be, burned at the stake or, being, hung as a witch or any of that kind of stuff, which a lot of us have, And it's funny because, when I do sessions on women, that seems to be the main focus for them too. It's like they need to get past, they need to heal the throat chakra from speaking their truth. Right. Because it's been suppressed, right? Yeah. So.
For all of us, really.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah. So, God, that was pretty extensive. Where do we start unpacking that?
Well, I could tell you, like, my spirit guide, right? That was another interesting journey of how he was able to communicate with me.
Who was he? Do you know?
I started watching Channeling Eric on YouTube.
Okay.
Eric Medhus. And I was fascinated by how many mediums, could they were able to paint such a clear picture of Eric's energy, what he looked like, and I was able quickly to, tune in.
This Eric, this channel you're talking about, this is someone that's not in the body?
Right.
That somebody else have been channeling or something?
Yes. Okay, so his mother started a blog, many years ago. He committed suicide at the early age of like 20, 21. Right. And his mother was an atheist. She was looking for answers. She reached out to medium, and the medium described Eric perfectly. Right. And she decided that other people need to hear his messages, right? Mm. And she started a YouTube channel, and Channeling Eric was who.
So he became your guide.
Yes. Wow. Yes, and apparently he's he's done a lot of work with spiritual healers, with star seeds. Like he took this upon. He's funny because he says that he knows who's watching. He knows who's assigned to him.
Right.
So he started coming to me, and the information was always spot on. But I got too used to channeling him, right? And he backed away because he was like, you need to work on communicating to your highest light. Right. And but in the meantime, he taught me how energy works. He explained supple light energy. He basically dumbed everything down so I could, and he was very playful about not getting so serious with, how do I say this? When you see something hard, when you feel like as an empath, you pick up on a lot of information from other people. He was very good about reminding me to stay inner child, which is the most powerful part of us. In the spiritual community, we talk a lot about sacred masculine, sacred feminine, but the inner child is the most powerful part. Yeah. It helps us play. It helps us you know, deal with, a child doesn't linger too much on
Right.
a lesson. It learns its lesson, it moves on.
Right. And it can move on from the experience too.
Yes.
You know, where a lot of adults can't. We can't move past it. A child can move past it.
Mm-hmm. And so he explained to me, the body-mind, spirit and mind connection was basically how electrical the chakras are, right? And, when I was doing Reiki work on clients, I started seeing a disconnection with their inner child, right? And a lot of the clients that were coming to me with their problems, wanting their chakras balanced, right? And then I would start channeling the information. But Reiki is a silent practice, right? And I always had to wait till after the session to explain what I was seeing. And finally, it dawned on me. I'm like, Eric said, "Creator, create." We're
Right.
the creators, of our reality. So, because of my intuition, right? So he said, create your own modality, right? Create your own healing experience where, you're using the laws, of, the body and the body, mind, spirit connection. And, I started what our channel was called Regression Healing, right? Because I could regress people through all time and space, present and past, right? Because all is in the now. And I found out that a lot, that's already been created through the, hypnosis. They call it regression healing. Right. So here, in Sedona, I'm starting what's called interdimensional regression healing.
Wow.
And that, basically you're not being put under, hypnosis. You're fully conscious.
Here we go. We're going to jump into this one. You good?
Yeah.
Good. Okay. I'm just curious. How many of those types of sessions have you done, would you say? Not that it matters. I'm just curious. I just want to get some evolution on this.
I've been doing it for the past 4 years now.
Okay, 4 years.
Yeah.
And was this a modality that you kind of pulled down as a conduit? Or was it something you learned? Or a little bit of both?
Doing energy work, I started remembering
Okay, I got
how to communicate with the body.
So when you do a interdimensional regression,
right?
How do you do that?
So, since we are electrical, the chakras, we're electrical in nature. It's always best to start ground. You ground the person first at the feet, and you create.
Now, are they laying on a table?
They're laying on a table,
Okay.
or you can actually. I could do it sitting upright.
Yeah, I was going to say, could you do it right now?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. You want to do it?
You want to experience it?
I'm fine. I think these are the types of things people need to see. But yeah.
Okay.
Or what do you think?
Well, and let me walk you through it.
What's your how do you resonate? Are you worried at all if we do it live?
No, I can do it. It's basically creating a circuit of consciousness,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So I ground you first, and then I connect to the inner child, and then the oversoul, and it's I get information, from the body, then from the inner child, and then the crown chakra is the connection to the oversoul, and then it's definitely. But I always explain it like it's something you have to feel, in order to. It's definitely an experience.
Okay. I mean, I'm up for it if you are. If you have any reservations at all, don't do it though. We can just keep talking. But I don't usually have a lot of people ask me to do things and they want to gift this and that. It never really resonates.
Really?
No, but you're a little bit different.
Yeah, I'm a little bit different.
Yeah. I mean, I'm married to an ET, so I mean, I had many hours of sessions with her, and I've done my own even when I was moved to. But there's so many different. I know the energy work all looks different on the surface, but some of it is really still intact, I guess, in a way. Such as what you were remembering once you started doing Reiki and energy healing, the things you started to remember as opposed to going and being taught something. Yeah.
The Reiki classes that I've had, right? It just basically teaches you how to balance the chakras, how to clear the chakras. But being intuitive, I could see the root of the problem, right? And I only asked for the root of the problem. And many times I would see, I would see certain, hooks on people.
Yeah.
Right? And I would see, energy that was stagnant and where where that energy comes from. And I could, so it was like a whole download of information that I have to navigate. And I have to pick and choose within an hour, half-hour session, what to focus on, right? But nobody teaches you how to properly remove, or I wasn't taught how to properly remove entities from the body.
Right.
And my spirit guide was one who told me, these things do not speak English. Energy does not speak English, right? You have to release the throat chakra, and you have to activate your light language to come online in order to command these ancient, entities. You have to show them who you are, and then you have to command them to be, to release the vessel, right?
Right.
And that's when I saw miracles. Like that's when I started seeing big time results.
Wow. So can you do like a little mini one?
Yeah.
Okay, let's play.
Okay.
Let's play. Oh, you're gonna get up?
I have to get up.
Oh, what am I gonna do?
Just sit in front.
Oh, okay. What's your feet?
Okay.
Okay. All right, here we go. We're gonna exercise my demons.
Okay, so speak your name because I need permission. It's voice activated, so just say your name out loud.
Todd.
Okay, so I'm going to ground you first. Usually I have Enya playing, in the background.
What's that?
I have Enya playing in the background.
Oh, okay.
For my sessions.
I can hear it just fine. Oh.
Okay, so this is inner child. So typically I ask like 3 simple questions, right?
Okay.
Like not out loud. Like I'm just talking as far as energetically speaking, right? Typically I ask, what is the vessel working on, right? What theme did you come in, right, to incarnate with? And, I ask the inner child, show me something that you love. Show me something that you really enjoy. Okay. So typically I would pause and give you the download, right, from the inner child, and I would tell you, what's coming through and, what energy, like the inner child is, basically it's your love language, right? And for you, it's like you're not a complicated person, like you're very straightforward, I remember there was this old-fashioned saying, what's on the lung is on the tongue, right? So it's like you speak from the heart. You speak your truth. You don't sugarcoat things, right? your inner child was showing me sports for some reason. Like I was seeing like hockey in my mind's eye. I don't know if you connect to hockey or just the idea of, gliding on the ice or, navigating through tight, trying to get the puck into the goal, right? Like that could be a metaphor for how you skate around life right now. You see it as a game, right? And the theme that you came in, humanitarian, right? You're here to service to others. You're here to help, mankind, right? So that would be like part of the session. And the next part, that's the inner child, and then the oversoul is the crown chakra, right? And this basically, what you're going to be feeling is a spinning, up. It's like a spiral going up.
Right.
And what I'm doing is I'm moving my consciousness through all your chakras and seeing where the blocks are, right? And connecting you to your oversoul. So. And then your head will move to my left, which is past life. It will move to the right for current timelines. So a lot of tension, your highest light said, is all back here. That feeling the weight of the world on your shoulders?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what's being highlighted, and you're being reminded to pop your wings, is what I heard. Let me just finish this off. I can do a channel light language starseed activation if you like.
Whatever you want to do.
Okay. Tiriasiatun ariasiatun hi tiriasia kultura yan tirian tukurea ante tariasun takarian yatun ariasiatun katriasian hundiariasia katrian unirayan tiasian tukura intiriasotuna antiriasoto inkitirian tukuna yatisira Untinarayantia, kutusurayantia, tatatarianto, kuna ketria soto, hintria sotona katria sitria sunton, antusuria, antitiria, kuturia, katatria suntiria, kataria soton. Okay.
Ah, yes, that was very cool.
So I was,
Yeah.
my highest light was demonstrating, when the light language comes in, it sounds like gibberish. You feel like you sound like you're just talking
No,
babble,
it's
right?
not. No,
But when it came through, my spirit guide was like, "What are you going to do with that?" I was like, "I got to use it, right?" He's like, "You have to use it." And he made it very clear to me, that I was to put myself out there, right? That I wasn't to hide, in my basement in Ohio. That, having these gifts and having them activate and having, being able to channel this information and channel light language, it needs to be shared, right?
Yes.
We hold each other's codes. We hold each other's activations. And, my highest light knows who you are. And,
What does that mean?
meaning we've done this before.
Oh, yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
No question.
We definitely have done this. This is divinely orchestrated, right?
Yep.
And it wasn't just a popularity thing for me to be like, oh, look at me. It was, like, look how many people I've connected myself to, But these people are the ones that I adore and I look up to. And, we are the ones that, we're back. We're the ones that we've been praying for,
That's right.
And, that saying, if I could do it, then, you could do it. And that was what Yeshua was very adamant when I was a child. Do not be afraid of the light. Do not be afraid of your power. Do not be afraid of your light. And, us high angelics, we come in with the hardest lessons to transmute, right? Transmute, transform.
Yeah.
And
so, wow. Yeah, I definitely felt it. I mean, I felt things and saw things, actually. It was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It reminded me of plant medicine. Although there was, from the get-go, from the very get-go, I could feel your hands.
Yeah.
And I could feel the energy. And it was like a, God, what would it be like? It would be almost like somebody popped open balloons of confetti.
Mm-hmm.
The pressure of it went like this. It wasn't
your cellular memories, the dormant DNAs, like it.
Yeah.
The codes were unlocked.
Yeah.
And I definitely felt your inner child was like, wee, go. Like that feeling of like, whoa, I remembered this. Like,
Yeah.
It feels like internally flying. It feels like your consciousness is expanding. And I've had many clients on the table when they feel that. It's like, what is that? I remember that. Like let go. I'm like, no, I'm driving. Like I'm the one driving right now.
Mm-hmm.
But the intention is always, intention goes where energy flows,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I always set the intention that the client is going to leave with a smile on their face, and that they're going to feel like that they have more of a connection to all there is. And that they don't feel like they're on their own little island, out in the ocean, just like surviving,
Right.
I'm very grateful for the work that I do. It's not everybody understands, understands the responsibility with that kind of ability. I have to go through my own trials and tribulations to earn more wings, but I always like to share the knowledge, share my wisdom.
That's what makes it.
Mm-hmm.
What's the point of keeping it to yourself? And plus, we've done this before. We know it's inevitable. Do you go through a lot of, I'm sure you've had, obviously, a very similar story to many of us, most of us, and not all of us. Some of the superficial aspects are different, or they look different. But as far as like doing shadow work and zero pointing and still dealing with stuff that's coming up, are you? How's that been going for you the last 2 months, June and July?
I'm always finding parts of the self that needs, reinforcement, right? Like, stay on the raft, like don't fall out of the raft, just, you know, um, my spirit guide, he's very funny, right? He was one who explained to me how consciousness works, and he explained to me about this dimension, and he explained to me how it's what you put out you get back, right?
Right.
So it's all about, it's a frequency game, right? And um, you know it's a mathematical musical water matrix, and if you can wrap your head around everything as consciousness, right, then it's game on, right? And how we are the creators of our reality, and the what your thoughts are things and your words are spells, right? And that's why they call it spelling, right? So I find it interesting that when I bring these concepts to clients and I explain to them, be mindful of your thoughts, like really be mindful of your thoughts, because
That's right.
it's about, you only stay in the now. That's all you have is the now. And my spirit guide was always yelling at me, stop projecting, right? Meaning the worst fear that you could ever imagine, the reality of it isn't anything close to it, right? When you're like, Ruthie, we're going live tomorrow, I'm like, like, what am I going to talk about, right? And it was the things that you fear the most are the things that you're here to do.
Right.
You're here to learn to face those fears, and here I am. It's full circle, because I started watching you like 4 or 5 years ago, and I never, and as intuitive as I am, believe me, I never saw this coming. So it's like a wild card, oh, we're doing this today. Right? And he was very clear about, they call it the present moment for a reason, right? Yeah. It's where your gifts are, right? And, I can only get in the moment of the moment. I can only get the download. I can only get the aha inspirational moment, right? That keeps us in, in that playful, let's do this, right? Yeah.
So how does it feel that you popped your cherry?
Nobody really teaches us how to be multidimensional, right? And, navigating my own consciousness multidimensionally, and then a client's consciousness multidimensionally, it's interesting, because I don't, spirit does not speak English, right? They can only use what's in your filter. They can only use concepts or memories that are, the closest resemblance to experiences that you've experienced, right?
Right.
So it's funny because, I started this journey thinking that I was here to, help my son. But in turn, he helped me. Remember, trying to find the answers for him just led me to find the answers that I needed, coming into the game, right? Wow. In this incarnation. And, I'm very grateful for the life, the trials and tribulations that I have, right? Because they brought me here.
Right.
All the spirit guides, the angelics, the galactics, right? It's all my truth, and I can only be true to myself and my mission. And I was told that don't worry about the people, like there are some that are assigned to you. So there are people that need to relate to you, and they need to know where you are, and they need to, they need to be able to find you. And that's where, currently, there's a website that my friends and I are creating, and we launched it, and it's Galactic Starkeepers.
GalacticStarkeepers.com.
And we have a community of star seeds.
Wow.
Based here in Sedona, and I'm the Sedona that I've always dreamt about. I'm creating it.
Right.
You know,
Right.
I felt like it was my mission to, you know, somebody had to create this, you know, platform.
How long ago did you come to Sedona, and what was that all about?
It's been almost a year now.
Okay.
Yeah. And basically, you know, I follow Rion and Alexander, you know, it's Team Light. And my heart just knew that I had to do the 40 days and 40 nights in the desert, just like Yeshua, right? It's like, you know, to earn that those master skills, right? That Sedona with the vortex energies and, you know, it was the right platform for me to expand and grow my modality.
How's your experience been in Sedona this year? For this past year that you lived here?
You know, Sedona will test you, right? I was warned ahead of time that Sedona had its like trials and tribulations, and you know, you to live amongst the gods, as so they say, right? You have to, you know, you have to prove your worthiness, right? And it was 6 months of, you know, it makes it look like you're not going to make it. And sure enough, if you hold on with the faith that I, you know, was just like, I know I see that bigger picture, you know, down the road, right? And I didn't know how I was going to, you know, it's very expensive to live here, right? And yeah, but here I am. I'm still here. So it's a lot. It's a lot of, you know, there's a whole story there, but you know, I don't want to mention any names.
Yeah. Okay. Don't know who they are.
But they know who they are.
So what's your take on what's going on now? Now that we're past the BS of COVID and all that's wearing off, and we're halfway through this year, 7 months through this year. It's been a crazy year. I mean, how do you think we're doing?
You know, living here in Sedona, you forget, right? You forget about what's out there, what other people's realities look like. Because Sedona, it's like time doesn't, or let's say COVID doesn't really apply here, right? Nobody walks around with the masks, and you don't hear about death rates or you know, any kind of like, you know, it's just like it doesn't exist here, right? And I forget when I go back home or when I talk to my mom from Ohio, it's like, you know, she fills me in on all the stuff that's going on. And I'm like, whoa, like, yeah, you forget.
At least what they're telling you.
Right, what they're telling you.
So what does your mom think of your transformation?
You know what? She just kind of, I'm not going to say she gave up on me. She just, you know, she accepts it for the best that she could, you know.
Well, of course, she's coming from
a religious, background. And as long as I'm happy, you know, and I'm not hurting anybody, you know, right? And I just kind of keep her in the dark a little bit. I don't share everything with her.
Yeah, that's what I do with my family. I just don't let them know anything.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. Yeah, because I have a show. And
well, they can tune in and see what you're talking about, right?
They already think you're crazy, so what's the point?
It's like,
what's the point of holding back?
I always say, well, if the hat fits, wear it, you know.
Are you picking up any, like, intel, you know, kind of like AK, like Dolores Cannon? Like, you know, you see let's say a whole batch of sessions over a period of time, and there's a common trajectory of what their higher selves are telling you. Are you picking up on anything like that?
I don't focus on that. I don't talk to their higher selves for my own personal, you know, insights. For that, I do tune into my own intuitive, you know, I do believe this Lionsgate energy that we're about, you know, we're here in August, right? August 8th. It's the
7 days away.
That's it,
people.
right? Yeah. I feel that, you know, that there's more disclosure, and, you know, bigger and better is coming. You can only go one direction. From the lowest low, you can only go to the highest high. So
that's exactly where we're at. Yeah. We've all been there individually. Now the world's following us.
Exactly.
Like the caboose on a train. Yeah. Nice, real nice. So, do you work out of your house, or do you work online? How do you?
So clients could book a session, over the website, or they could text my phone number on the website, and I have a room that I rent, so I'm able to do sessions. I was forewarned not to do them through my house, like at the apartment that I live at, because you don't want to work where you don't want to mingle that energy where you live.
There's another saying, but I won't get into it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I thought it was a Texas thing.
Yeah.
Well, far out. So you got any parting? Did you want to share anything like the light language, or any kind of message, or anything that you feel like might be pertinent?
How do I say this? There are a lot of us that aren't living in our purpose, that are questioning our reality and questioning what we're here for, like what's the point of life, and the energies right now are so supportive. If people are tired of their 9-to-5 jobs, right? Spirit taught me you should be your own boss, right? You should start working on, honing your skills, honing what you love. Inner child play is very important, right? It's the clues of what did you want to be as a child? It was the clues that we left ourselves to remember who we are.
Yeah.
So.
Cookie crumb trail home, the yellow brick road.
Yep. Stay in your bliss, stay in your joy, and that's where your passion, that's where your power is.
Stay in your own lane.
Stay in your lane.
Because I don't know how people can have time for anyone else now. It's just, in terms of like,
it's about self-mastery and your self-worth and expanding your consciousness, My spirit guide was very funny. He was like, well, it's a rainbow body, right? It's the root chakra starts from red all the way to indigo. And he was like, what hue of manifestation do you reside in? Human, right? Hue, color, and the manifestation of light. Like, are you living in the lower chakras of fear and doubt? Or are you in the higher chakras? Where are you? And I asked him, like, where are you supposed to be? Like, where am I supposed to be? He's like, Ruthie, he's like, what's the middle of the rainbow? Right? What color's in the middle of the rainbow? I'm like, green. He's like, and what color is your heart chakra? I'm like, green. He's like, you stay in your heart. He's like, from the heart, you know that saying, you know it by heart?
Right.
You know it by heart. The heart knows this is your holy of holies, right? So, staying balanced, right? Between as above, so below, as within, so without. Mm-hmm. So, that's basically the balance, multidimensionally, right?
Right.
And that was his way of, childlike innocence, right? Just, love yourself, know thyself, right?
Yeah. Be a kid.
Yes.
Be Peter Pan. It's easy for me. I'm Peter Pan.
There you go.
Don't bother me a bit. We'll have to do it again. Are we going to do it tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Oh yeah, we got a special broadcast tomorrow. It's going to be really special. You're going to be part of it.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Peace out, everybody. Probably be back later with some music or something, or an open mic. Thanks, Ruthie.